Yes, Mr. Afghani. Good evening. How are you? You want to whirl? You are most welcome. You ask too many questions. So you ask about Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen. You ask about Mi'raj. Oh. You need one year for that. I will explain Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen. That's true. That's true. You are a student of Sufism and a master of Sufism. Thank you. But might be people here might not understand Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen. I will, according to his request, I will explain very short, summarized about Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen. Before that, we have to say that it's very technical. How you are going to speak to something that's very technical? In Sufism, there is first level of Sufism is love. When you acquire love to the Creator or to prophets in general, or to the teachers in general, that love is the first step in Sufism. And that's why we say Mahabbatullah, Mahabbatul Habib, Mahabbatul Mashayikh, love of God, love of prophets, and love of masters. When you acquire that, you acquire presence of God, presence of prophets, presence of masters. So you can feel their presence. After you love them, you give your heart to them. As you love more than you love your wife or your husband, how much you be very close to each other. When you love your master, you love your prophets, you love your God, that love will create in you a kind of presence. You can feel the presence of your master, the presence of your prophets, the master, or the presence of God. When you reach that level, then you begin to reach the third level with annihilation in your teacher, annihilation in prophets, annihilation in God. Means you submit totally and you will never have any more will other than their wills. So their will or their wills has to go through, your will has to be dropped. That time you will reach Maqamul Fana, which is the annihilated level, the level of annihilation in God, prophets, and your masters. This goes in parallel, all these three levels I have mentioned, summarize them. It goes in level with Ilmul Yaqeen, Ainul Yaqeen, Haqqul Yaqeen, the question he asked. Ilmul Yaqeen is the level of the certainty of knowledge. to know the reality of that knowledge. So ilm al-yaqeen comes through hearing. So you hear the teacher, what he is saying, you begin to learn, and that certainty, the reality of learning, comes from hearing the teacher what he is saying, and you developing it within yourself, which take you to the higher level, which is Ainul Yaqeen. Ainul Yaqeen is the teacher will give you energy or power to begin to see what people cannot see. So you will accomplish the reality of seeing, the reality of vision. That's why I was saying Jalaluddin Rumi was envisioning, he was seeing things that the light of his Lord is with him. So that Ainul Yaqeen is to see what people cannot see. The first Ilmul Yaqeen is to hear knowledge, and the second is to see knowledge. So combining together, it will accomplish, and it will make within yourself a reality, what we call it Haqqul Yaqeen, the certainty, the reality of reality, the real experience that you can hear and you can see. Then whatever you can hear and you can see, it will bring for you the reality of the issue, or the reality of that journey, or the reality of the divine presence. So this is the first part of his question in a very summarized way. And he is asking about ascension. Ascension is something that you are, and he gave an example of space shuttle, that if you want to ascend today, you need a space shuttle. But in Sufism, in spirituality, you don't need a space shuttle. You can ascend in higher levels through your spirit, because the soul can ascend if the body is not controlling it. So you can take your soul out of your body, and you can go with your soul wherever you want to go. And that is a situation, what we call it if we want to go through universe, is an ascension. If you want to move through world, is what we call it in Arabic Tai, is folding the time and folding the space. It says space and time will fold each other, and you move in the world in so quick, in a very quick way, that by moving with that energy, you can be in China in a moment. These are things that very spiritual, and I try to avoid speaking about them, because it's not yet everyone can be educated on these issues. Later in the future, we might go and explain more about this issue. Thank you very much, Mr. Afghani. Afghani, Irani, anything.
Assalamu alaikum, Maulana.
Wa alaikum assalam, lawyer.
I'm very happy to see you for the second time.
Thank you.
From very young age, I loved God in very, very, very special way. I used to spend hours on the roof of the house when I was 6 years old and talk to God. And I wrote my first poet when I was 7 years old. And even my dad, he thought I copied this from a newspaper or a magazine. And since then, I had my very special spiritual journey and experiences. I lived in many countries alone, and people always, they ask me, you don't feel lonely? I said, how can I be lonely and God with me all the time? And many species in my home all the time. For the last 2 years, this has changed, and I hope tonight you could help me to go back home where I used to feel comfortable with God. As you said, my legal background made me always search for peace and justice. And also from very young age, I was in love with animals. Through their eyes, I could see God, I could communicate with God, and through nature. And I don't eat animals, of course, but I'm a wildlife rescuer, and in the wildlife there is enormous amount of cruelty. The animals being designed to each other in very crucial way. And as a human, I can't see that. How could the one who created them allow them to do that? They being designed, I can't blame them. We've been talking about peace the other day between humans. I mean, we could deal with it, but animals, they can't deal with it because they can't survive unless they have this cruelty. Recently in Victoria, we lost over 1 million species in the bushfire. And for 1 week, I was angry with God because I can't understand those innocent animals, why they've been through this pain. Some of them, they stayed for a few days in severe pain until they died. We were not allowed to go there because it was dangerous. And that's put a barrier between me and my great love to God. I've been struggling for last 2 years, and I don't feel the same. I hope you could find me an answer. I asked many different believers, different religions, and none of them gave me a satisfying answer for this question. The cruelty in the wildlife and why they being designed to do that. Thank you very much.
So, a summary of your question is why animals are cruel to each other. Are we cruel to each other? Who is higher in the level of understanding? Who has more brain, animal or human?
Some animals, they have more senses than us. Some animals, in many ways, they could be more advanced than us. So, but
I understand. So, he can take the microphone. So, we have more brain. Our mind we are more intelligent than animals. In general. And animals are less in understanding, even though they know their ways, or they might do things that we teach them or whatever, but still we are far more educated than them and more intelligent than animals. With all that, I cannot understand, if you can understand, I cannot understand why humans are cruel to each other. So, first of all, I believe that if we stop cruelty to each other, animals will stop cruelty to each other, because we will be reflecting on them the peacefulness and the joy of this life, because there are many saints, they have developed with animals a relationship. And I tell you a story that happened with our grandmaster. He was asked to go up to the mountain by his master, and he said, I will come to see you in the evening and go down with you together. That's why I was explaining what Mr. Irani was, Afghani, Irani, whatever. He was asking about ilm al-yaqeen, ayn al-yaqeen, haqq al-yaqeen. So he went to the mountain, that student, waiting for his teacher to come in the evening. The teacher didn't come. Since he promised the teacher he would wait for him, he didn't move down to the city. He stayed on the mountain. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, no more food with him. And he promised his teacher is not going to go down. That is submission. That's when we have total submission. Our will coincide with Allah, with God's will. We don't do anything that God does not like. So he began to eat from the trees. Then winter came and he's still up. He didn't go down. And his teacher left him because it is a test. It is a training. So he began to eat from the trees. In winter time, there is no more leaves. There is no more fruit. There is nothing. He's hungry. He began to eat from the trunk of the tree, cut it and eat. And stay 1 year. 2nd year. His beard became longer than my beard. His hair very long. And cold weather, he sit by that tree and in the jungle, and slowly, when he begin to make zikrullah, to remember God's names and chant them and sing them and recite them, his beautiful names and attributes, he begin to see these wild animals, lions and tigers and cats and hyenas and deers and sheep and goats and birds coming around him and listening to his recitation. And not one of them was violent to the others. Why? Because he was able to throw into their hearts that beautiful sound of the Creator. That reflection that coming from him to them made them all domestic animals. Although they are wild, they were wild animals. And this is very famous story in our spiritual teaching, which came from the Grand Sheikh, my Grand Sheikh's Grand Sheikh. It is documented and it is a real story that I am telling you. So why it happened? Because his total submission. He became pure. No dirtiness on his soul and his spirit. So problems is us, we are reflecting our bad energy, affecting all these animals in the jungles. So this is the spiritual explanation and the Sufi explanation of why animals are cruel, because we are human being, al-hayawan al-natiq, you know Arabic. We are animals, but talking animals. We are cruel to each other. It's affecting them in the jungle. May God forgive us and forgive them. It's enough. Yeah. Might be everything possible. Everything has an answer. So might be you are right. Thank you. You can
Shakishan.
Thank you.
I have a quick question, and it's been on my mind for quite a while. It's about tithing. It's confusing in some religions. They ask for 10% tithing, yet donating money. In the Christian religion, for example, it's 10%, and in many religions, my question is, you were saying earlier that God gives for free many things, yet in reality we are paying for electricity, for gas, and so on. And then we also give back to our church. I'm confused. Where is the logic in that?
I said for this event free. And if someone wants to register for to be trained, free for this time, and not for every time. And the purpose, she's telling me the question. The purpose of donation, it's a donation. It doesn't require you, I don't know from where you brought 10%. Catholic Church, 10% of your income. We have in different religions, if the church does not being supported, because they do a lot of work, it's not churches. Everything, as you said, you pay. Even you use electricity, you have to pay for it. So they cannot pay their pastors or their priests, or they cannot feed people. Is also in Islamic religion the same, also in Jewish religions the same, also Hindus or Buddhists. So you can give whatever comes through your heart. Some people, they might give not 10%. I know people, they give 90%. I know people, they give everything. Some people, they said, okay, we got this, we don't want it, we give it. And this is kind of generosity. When it comes above the required amount, it becomes a kind of generosity. And in this room, I know that there are generous, very generous couple that I never imagined such generosity from them, except when I heard it from them. It's really astonishing, and I'm praying for them that God will give them more. And in Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said, "Ma naqasa malun min sadaqa." Never money will come less from donation. So you give donation, God will give more. So I think everything is based on support. This is kind of support. If you don't like it to call it donation or giving a tax to them, it's like kind of a support. You can support or you don't want to support. It's up to that person.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
There are a lot of people in the world suffering oppression and injustice. Isn't it natural for these people to feel righteous anger and to rise up and fight against their oppressors? And how do you reconcile this with the requirement for a spiritual person to conquer anger?
God said, لا يحب الله الجهر بالسوء إلا من ظلم. God does not like anyone to be angry, except the one who is being oppressed can be angry. That anger is right anger. You can be angry from cruelty of people. You can be angry from judges that they don't give right judging. You can be angry from someone that break hearts of people. That is okay. This, you have right for it. But you cannot be angry in a term that it's outside these oppressions. So if there is an oppression, it's okay to be angry. Other than that, it's no need. Sometimes you lose a job, you get angry. Hey, what you can do is you lost the job. Don't get angry. Be relaxed. God will send another job. So sometimes you are driving a car, someone pass over you, you be angry, you keep not honking to him. So leave him, don't get angry. Sometimes you see someone doing something you don't like, he likes. So leave people alone. But if you get problem and they oppressed you, no, you have right to stand up and say, I'm angry, I want my right back. Thank you.
My name is Nobody. From history has been discords between Christians, Islam, Judaism, and many suffering. What will be our attitude towards these events? It is acceptance, it is fighting, it is anger. When I see this peaceful group of people here, perhaps one word of wisdom for you to see what will be the best position about these events.
Okay. Steve, can you summarize what he said? Steve, can you, is there any question or it's only a comment? Okay, that's it.
How do we respond to discord between different religions?
I don't like fighting between different religions. I cannot. It is the problem of the people who are following these religions. Religions will not fight with each other. They are heavenly religions. They are from God, and God has sent them in different times. So those who follow every religion has to follow their teachings. Teachings told them don't fight with other people, don't fight with each other. So for me, I don't believe in fighting between religions. There is no such thing. People might fight, it's the problem of the people, it's not the problem of the religion. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
I have two questions. First is, my heart is unclean. What I should do first, tomorrow morning or tonight before I go to bed? What physical action or what chanting should I do? The second is, how important Sharia? For example, pray 5 times a day. Thank you very much.
For anger, you can recite Ya Halim 100 times a day. This is especially for you. Ya Halim 100 times a day. And the second question? Praying, it's up to you. You want to pray, you pray. You don't want to pray, then it's up to you. No one can force anyone to do something that he doesn't want to do. So as you are a Muslim and you are asking from a Muslim point of view, you have to pray 5 prayers a day. So you don't pray them, you can try to pray them in the evening. You don't pray them, then you try to pray whatever you want. It's up to you. And we say that Allah is merciful, but still it's an obligation, like you eat 2 times a day or 3 times a day. Can you say, I don't want to eat? I'm answering to you specifically, not that is a question for yourself. So you cannot say, I cannot eat. Then go fast, don't eat. So prayers are the food for the soul. If you don't pray, like Christians, they go to church, they pray for their soul. It's a food for their soul. You are a Muslim, you have to pray for your soul. It's a food for your soul. Jewish people pray for the benefit of their souls, also Buddhists, also Hindus. So you choose what you want to do, and you do. It is up to you. It's not up to me or up to anyone else. God gave you mind, God gave you intelligence, and He said, this is your duties. You like to do it, you do it. You don't like to do it, it's between you and your Lord. Thank you. Okay, Steve, last question. And
Assalamu alaikum, Shaykh Effendi.
wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
Some
barakatuh.
prominent Muslim scholars say that Tasawwuf or Sufism is not Islam, and it does not belong to Islam because it teaches pantheism. I would be happy to hear your comments. Thank you very much.
What you say yourself, opinion about tasawwuf. If they say to you is not from Islam, what we spoke, is it Islamic or non-Islamic? Is it something that is moral excellence? It's refreshing the heart. It's something that can make you feel better or not? So why they have to say it's not Islamic? It means as if they are rejecting all good manners in Islam. They don't want to reject. They want to reject it. That is wrong. Tasawwuf, Sufism, is the third level of religion, Islamic religion, where Prophet, peace be upon him, when he was asked by Archangel Gabriel, when he came and asked him about Islam, he mentioned the 5 obligations. You know them. Then he asked him about faith, Iman. He mentioned the 6 pillars of Iman. Then he asked him about the third level, perfection, the perfect maqamul ihsan, the level of moral excellence. The level of moral excellence is how to behave and how to act and how you build a relationship with others. So when they say there is no such thing in Islam, do we want to drop all the relationships between us and everyone else? All these good manners, we have to drop it from our religion? That's why, I'm sorry to say, to answer you, that's why this minority of Muslims, they are terrorizing the whole Muslim community and try to label Islam as a religion of terrorism, which we deny and we rendered on them and say they are the minority that are destroying Islam from within Islam. They are the enemies. So don't listen to them. Thank you, and this will answer your question, when to be angry.
Thank you very much.
No problem, please. Thank you. He can give you the microphone, it's better. Yes. Thank you. May God bless you and bless this country and bless everyone here and bless Mother Earth, because we are all coming from Mother Earth. Thank you.
Rasulullah, salamun alayhi. Ya Habiballah, salam alayhi. Nabrah ilayya ya Rasulullah, atfan alayya Habiballah. Min nuri Taha salat laha, dhikrul ilahi zait ilaiha. Min qalbi Ahmad nusqa wa nurshad. Min qalbi Ahmad dhaka al-murad. Kekasih Allah juga semesta, salawat salam kita semua. Jalan hidupnya pancarkan cinta, kasih dan